Welcome to another Voice of Today. And yesterday we began to talk about 2 Corinthians 3:18 and beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord until we're changed into the same image, not by our own effort, not by our, how holy we are or, those kinds of things, but by the Spirit of God and the revelation of who Jesus is, changing us into the same image of who He is. And then our behavior now becomes a part of our nature as opposed to some effort to follow the laws and to follow the commands, that never works. So today I want to go to 2 Corinthians 4. And I want to show you how this same concept is verbalized and expressed a little differently. But yet it brings out even more power. And 2 Corinthians 4, verse 4, it says, whose minds the God of this age, this is New King James again, has blinded, whose mind the God of this age has blinded, who did not believe. Look at this. Lest the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. This is just another expression of what we just read yesterday. We're beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord. What is the glory of the Lord? It says the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ. The light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. It's the revelation of who Jesus is. It's the revelation of Christ in us, our hope of glory. That's the glory of God. And that's what we can look into. That's what will shine into our heart and change us and elevate us to who He is. And we now become something as opposed to trying to achieve some obedience. He is our obedience. He has become our obedience. His very person. We've now been changed into His image. And we're obedient. We have the same capacity to be obedient as He is. But not by our own flesh, but by as a result of positioning ourselves in that light. Now look at this in verse 6 of 2 Corinthians 4 as he says it even more definitive. This is a powerful promise. For it is God who commanded light to shine out of darkness, who hath shone or shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. I tell you what, I use this, if I can use the word use, I declare this promise over my life, probably more than any single promise that I know. For God who commands light to shine out of darkness, shines in our heart to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. To be the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ is the revelation of the gospel. It's the revelation of His death for us. It's the revelation of His resurrection. It's the revelation that we have been crucified with Him and we have been raised together with Him. It's the revelation that Christ lives in us and that everything that I'm trying to attain to, if I have habits in my life that I can't get past, if I have things that I just can't get past, it's not me trying to get past them. It's me now. It's receiving the light of the knowledge of the glory of God that would shine in my heart. That word heart is cardia. That's where your feelings are. That's where your emotions are. That's where your thoughts are. That's where your intellect is. That's your soulish realm. That's where you live. That's where the revelation of Christ wants to shine to change you into His same image. And instead of me trying to overcome things and overcome behaviors, or I'm struggling with my job, I'm struggling with performance in some certain areas, it's Christ who lives within me. In the life I live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. I don't have to offer up my own strength and my own efforts. It's Christ who gave himself for me. And no matter what I'm facing, no matter what I'm trying to overcome, I'm being changed into the same image as him. And now his life is manifest in my mortal flesh. His life is manifest in my mortal circumstances. He's not waiting on me to achieve some kind of super spiritual status or super spiritual sacrifice or super spiritual effort. He's waiting for me to place myself in the proximity through spending time with him and seeing his face and letting him show me the mystery of Christ in me, the hope of glory, and I'll be changed into that same image by the Spirit of the Lord, not by my effort, not by legalism, not by the law, not by me trying to obey a command. I will be changed by the Spirit. He gives himself for me. This is the new covenant. The light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus. No matter what you're facing, declare that. There is a light of the knowledge of the glory of God that can shine in your heart and your feelings. Then the next verse says, we have this treasure, the treasure of the light of the knowledge of the glory of God. Folks, whatever you're facing, there is an illumination of the glory of God that God wants to impart to your intellect, to your understanding, to your life. He wants to impart the glory of God to you, to your understanding. And he says this be a treasure in your earthen vessel. Not when you go to heaven, he wants to give you this treasure of the glory of God. The light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ, in the face of whatever you're facing. And the next verse says, we have this treasure in earthen vessel, that the excellency of the power would be of God and not of yourself. Because power is going to emit out of that revelation into your life. I'm tempted, I'm wanting to teach the whole thing. That's why I say, go to the website. Behold as in a glass the glory of the Lord, as in a mirror, the glory of the Lord. Parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we go through all of this in great detail, and it'll change your life. But I just want to introduce these things to you now. Hope to see you tomorrow.